Honey, what's that laying on the carpet? And more importantly, where did it come from? Hi, I'm Bob Schmidt with Home Remodel Workshop. I'm sure this happens to you around your house as it happens to me around mine. And I'm sure either you guys have a junk drawer or you have a mystery bag where you throw in things like that when you don't have a clue where they came from. There's a product available that's mostly used in automotive that comes in really handy to use around your house. I'll let you know what it is. Let's get to work. And the product I'm talking about is called Thread Locker. This is the blue formula. You can see it comes in this pretty red package, but it says blue right on it. What this is engineered to do is to lock down threads into other metal threads to keep them from backing out from vibration or temperature change. Now, be very careful when you go pick up this thread locker. I kind of snuck another package in here, and even though it comes in the same red container, it says red on this package and it says permanent. You don't want anything for a typical household repair that's permanent. The only way you would get this off would be to shear the bolt or to heat it up to 500 degrees, and even then you may not be able to get off. Not very likely you're going to need to do that for typical household repair. Now, as you see on this blue package, it clearly states removable, which means it can be taken off with a typical hand tool. A perfect example of where to use this thread locker is on door handles. These door handles and deadbolts, they're subject to vibration, they're subject to temperature change, all of which conspire against allowing these bolts to come loose. You know, the mechanical movement of the handle, it vibrates those bolts and gets them to come loose. Now, take this to an area where you can apply this thread lock so that it doesn't drip on the carpet. Now, I have a drop cloth down below me here, but basically what you do is you squeeze out a little bit of that blue formula, making sure you have the right formula, and go ahead and spread a little bit of that on the screws. You don't have to go crazy with it, because as you put this in, it will actually spread itself throughout the receiving end. Now, I've let this sit on this screw for about 5 minutes. It 90% cures in about 20 minutes, and it takes 24 hours to totally cure. But I always let it dry off a little bit. I blow on it before I go to put it in the hole so as to keep from making too much of a mess. Now, I keep a napkin handy to wipe off anything that should possibly come out onto the finished product right away to make sure it stays clean. Nothing new about putting it back in the hole. Just put it right back in. Get it started in there. Once you get it started in the hole, go ahead and tighten it down. No different than you tighten it down the first time. Don't over tighten it. Check and make sure that the door operates properly so you don't lock this in and over tighten it. And then wipe off any excess that you may have on the finished product. Now, I realize that this is a way oversized bolt and nut for your typical home repair, but this is the perfect example to show you. Is on a typical nut and bolt, when they go together, we think that they go together super tight, but really they don't. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but if you can see that there's just a little bit of slop in those threads. They can't manufacture these so that they fit together within a millimeter, unless maybe it's going on the space shuttle or something. But typically there's some slop in these threads when they go together. And what that Loctite does is it gets in those threads, and when it cures, there is no slop, there is no movement, which is what fights that vibration and temperature change that you may have that makes things come apart. Now, to my knowledge, any thread locker is not to be used in conjunction with any plastic bolt or plastic nut or even a nylon insert inside of a nut or into wood. It's only made on metal to metal. Now, although doorknobs and deadbolts are the most common place to come loose because of their use, this stuff also works great on set screws and older type hardware that goes inside of houses. If you have an older type lock set, those set screws are constantly coming loose. It's a great place to use it there. Also on bath accessories, where the toilet paper holder, people are constantly pulling a towel on and off that towel bar. Those set screws and sometimes the bolts and everything inside the mechanism itself comes loose. Another great place to use it. If you have something in your house where you tighten it and then end up going back 2 weeks again and tightening it and 2 weeks again and tightening it, I would strongly advise getting some of this Loctite threadbare, or just threadbare in general, depends on what type. Just be careful the type you get. You don't want anything that says permanent or anything that requires heat to remove, and you'll be great. I'm Bob Schmidt with Home Remodel Workshop. Hope you appreciated this video, and if not, check out our home channel. We have many other videos there. Thanks.